love me. I love me. I love me. I love me. I don't know about you. I don't know about you. Baby, I love. I love me. Everybody say, oh, I love me. I love me.
Good morning, guys. So I thought I would bring this week's vlog coming directly from my PT session that I'm actually on my way to now. So this week is officially Mental Health Awareness Week, and I thought I would talk to you a little bit about self-awareness and your own mental health, because if you don't have your own mental health to be awareness of, then you won't know what to look out for. So I'm going to get this PT session over and done with, and then I'll talk to you from the relaxation room after my PT session. So I'll speak to you in a minute, guys. Hi guys, so please excuse my dishevelled look. I am officially finished with my PT sessions now, and I'm currently filming off my phone only because my camera's literally just dying on me from filming the PT sessions. So I wanted to continue from this morning about your own Mental Health Awareness Week. Me personally, I have anxiety and I have depressive days, but I have not been diagnosed with depression and I have not been diagnosed with anxiety issues. For me, I don't feel it's got that far for me to be in a situation that is that extreme that I need to go and seek medical advice for. I deal with it in my own personal way. So I just wanted to chat to you quickly about just basically being a little bit selfish and basically taking care of yourself. Now, when I have anxiety, for instance, I like to take some deep breaths, do some breathing exercises, and then go from there. And when I do feel a bit depressed, I do like to do things like come to the spa, treat myself to certain things, and just in general be and feel like a better person within myself. Now, when it comes down to certain things, say for instance, when I am feeling anxious about things, and I do feel stressed out, because I do get stressed out a lot, especially with my job that I have, and also the issues that I have got going on. Well, they're not so much issues, but the day-to-day life things that go on a day-to-day basis within my own personal life. I feel like sometimes I just need to take a step back and, you know, just inhale and exhale, think about things, and just make sure that I am a better person within myself. So here's an example. Normally on a busy day, I know it's going to be a busy day, I will wake up in the morning, have 5 minutes to myself. On my watch I have a program that now, in fact, if you do have a Fitbit, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The watch has a Relax app on it, and it's a 2-minute program where it basically helps you to inhale and exhale and breathing exercises on it, and it's a 5-minute one. I normally like to go for the 5-minute one in the morning. Then I get myself ready for whatever the day is going to be lying ahead. And then once the stressful day's done, I come home, take 5 minutes again, I go in my room, I put the watch on, I go onto the program, I do the 5-minute breathing exercise again, and then I come out of my room once I've calmed down and done what I've done, interact with my friends and family. Then from there, sorry guys, like, I'm so relaxed right now. This is another thing that I actually do as well. I do come to the spa a lot. Now, please excuse if I am looking over there. It's just that I've got a timing thing there on my phone. Now, yeah, as I was saying, when it comes down to when I come home, and then I like to, what do I do? Once I'm ready for my bed, after I've eaten and spent some time with friends and family and got myself sorted, I do like to go in my room, have another 5-minute breathing exercise ready before I'm getting ready to go to bed. I have a hot drink. Then once I've had my hot drink, I have another app on my phone that allows me to play white noise sounds. So with mine, I have the sound of the ocean, rain, and you know, things like that. So with that, I do actually like the sound of the ocean. It helps me to relax and get out of my own head and de-stress. And it also helps me to sleep as well. Because sometimes when you're in an anxious environment and you're very stressed out environment, it can stop you from sleeping and it can give you sleep deprivation. So I like to listen to my app with my ocean sounds on it for 10 minutes, and it helps me drift off to a nice sleep. Now, whether you want to do that yourself or not, I will leave the apps down below, and I'll also pop the names up here as well of what they're actually called. But I do like to relax a lot, I really do. Whether regards to like when I had a stressful day, I do relax a lot. Now, the only reason why I do relax a lot is because that's what I know, that's my niche on how to get rid of the stress, get rid of the anxiousness, get rid of the depressive thoughts and feelings that I'm actually feeling at that time. What I would suggest for you to do is find something that interests you, find something that makes you feel relaxed and chilled out. It's like another thing as well, over the past 6 weeks, I have been doing a personal training session, as you all know. And these personal training sessions have really helped me out a lot with regards to my stress levels. The exercise has been releasing endorphins in my system to make me feel happier as well. And I feel a lot calmer within myself. Now, whether you would want to do that or not, that's totally up to you. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physician, I'm not somebody who could advise you on that. What I would say from my point of view is that I have become a better person because of it. I've become a happier person because of it. I've become a less stressed person because of it. Even in work, everyone looks at me now and I've even had, you're not even stressed and it's a stressful situation. And in all honesty, guys, I'm not in the process of, I'm not in that mind frame anymore of stressing out about things. And sorry, my hand was getting tired. And it's just, for me to come from a point of view where I was so stressed that my hair was falling out. I have stress spots that always seem to come up every time when I'm stressed out, which I have over there, and these are actually going now. I always tend to not be able to sleep, hence the bags underneath my eyes. See here that my hair is actually starting to grow back now. I do suffer from acid reflux as well. That is also brought on by stress. So I like to try and keep my stress levels at an absolute minimum if I can. And these PT sessions have been amazing, guys, honestly. I couldn't fault it at all. The guys at JAG Health and Fitness have done wonders with me, I'm telling you. This is not a sponsored thing. These guys are absolutely amazing. I found them on Facebook. I just thought to myself, right, I'd email them just for the hell of it, see, you know, how far I get with it. Within the space of, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, I got a phone call off Jamal. You'll be able to see a video from Jamal actually at the end. I'll pop that in at the end. And he was basically wanting to know a bit more about me, and I basically told him what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, and we basically went from there. And I feel so happy and proud that I've finally completed the 6-week program, that I'm gonna be continuing it definitely, and it's gonna get to a point where I'm gonna get to my goal, which my original goal was to lose 5 stone. I've lost 3.5 kilos, I believe, so far. I'm not sure how much that actually is, but I really do just want to thank JAG Health and Fitness for putting me on the right track, basically. By the way, guys, as I said before, this is not sponsored at all. It's just, I've been able to do things that I've not been able to do in a very, very long time, and I feel like I want to encourage you guys that are watching this to do something out of the ordinary, do something that's out of your own box, out of your own comfort zone. For me, knowing full well that I've got a gym that's around the corner, I didn't want to keep going to the gym because it was around the corner, and knowing full well that I didn't really have the support from my other work colleagues. Because, now, don't get me wrong, I did have support from my work colleagues. However, every time when we had a meeting, we had the food and the takeaways and the Greggs and the donuts and the biscuits and so on and so on and so on, to the point I was like, I'm looking at everything and I'm thinking, I really want that, but I'm not going to tempt myself because I really don't want to go there, and I really don't want to hinder things, because I've got so far already that I've really enjoyed myself. And one of my personal trainers, which was actually, she was called Misha, I will definitely be booking with them again, and in all honesty, I love it. I absolutely love it. And it's not so much, it's got to the point now where I've looked after my own mental health to the point that I can do certain things now, whereas before I was always like, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that, because in my own head I was thinking to myself, you're going to look an idiot. When you have that state of mind, it then becomes a repetitive cycle. When I did start the 6-week fitness program, I felt ill as anything. My back was hurting me. As you know, guys, I do actually suffer from back issues, but I never allowed it to hinder my progress. It got to a point where before I started this program, I was feeling down within myself, and because I was feeling down, I was eating, and I stress eat me. I can openly admit that now, I do stress eat. And basically it's the same for a lot of people. A lot of people deal with stress a lot differently than I do. And it just got to a point where I felt down within myself, and I was like, why am I constantly feeling down? Because in all honesty, guys, I am a happy person in general. I feel so much better. And there was something that somebody said to me a couple of weeks ago, and in all honesty, it's the truth. And this person said to me, if you take care of your mental health, the rest will follow. And I really truly believe that now, because I was taking care of myself, like, and whatnot, and nothing was happening. Then I sat down and I was like, and then I got myself into a routine of doing the breathing exercises and listening to the white noise, and then on top of that, I was coming to the gym and sorting myself out and just basically focusing, and it was helping me to focus, it was helping me to get into a better state of mind. And because I'm now in that state of mind, I feel like my mental health is great. I feel my emotional stance is the way it used to be. I feel physically a lot better than what I did before. I do really encourage each and every single person that does want to change something about themselves, or, you know, make themselves a better person, because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to do it for you except for you. So I just want to leave it here and just remind everybody just to be a little bit more selfish with your own time and spend some time with yourself. Take yourself out on a date. So I'm going to leave you with a few words from one of my PTs, Jamal. And I'm going to leave it here. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
So today is about therapy, all right? So what is your therapy? Okay, what is your therapy? So, you know, when we say therapy, I'm assuming you guys are probably thinking along the lines of armchair sort of stuff, you know, sitting in an armchair with a psychologist, you know, sharing your thoughts or whatever. And of course that's therapy. But I have a different opinion. Right? So I have a different opinion, and I'm sure many of you may agree, or some of you may not even heard about it before, right? But for me, therapy can be and is anything, all right? And every single person, in my opinion, has a form of therapy, all right? Just depends really on if you know you have a form of therapy or not, and if you do know, is it a conscious decision that you're continuing to do it, basically? So let me tell you what I mean. I use a perfect example, all right? So for me, I used to play sports, right? I used to play football. I was rubbish. I used to play football. I played basketball as well. But at the time, because I had a passion for the games or whatever. I used to play football. Everyone used to play football or whatever sport it was, basketball. But I used to obsess over it. And I remember in hard times, I used to play more sports. Do you know what I mean? I didn't understand why. Every problem I ever had, I used to use sports to just get over it. But I didn't think I was getting over it. I thought I was just playing sports because I liked it. But it was more than that. It was a therapy. It was a form of therapy. So to me, sports is a form of therapy. Same with smoking. All right, so smoking is another form of therapy. I don't see them as being any different. I just feel like one is better long-term than other. So with our business, JAG Health and Wellness, what we're trying to do basically is provide a form of therapy that people can use instead of something that they're used to that may be potentially self-destructive for them long-term. All right, so short-term it may not be, but long-term it may be. All right, so I mean, some of the forms of therapy. Let's use two simple ones that most people can relate to: is smoking and drinking. All right, so again, I drink. I like to drink. In it. So like, I'm acting like I drink a lot. I don't drink a lot, but when I do, I like to go out and drink. So when I drink, I'm a social drinker. So I drink when I go out. All right, so I go out once every 2 months or so. So that's how much I drink. I'm not better than anyone because I do that. That's just my choice, and that's how I prefer to do things. All right. Some people drink, not judging, but some people drink, 2 times a night, once a night, every night. They must have a glass of red wine, or if they don't do it once a night, they'll go on a weekend, every single weekend, or most weekends, whether they're going in a club, a bar, or just to a friend's house, and have at least 2 bottles of wine, or one. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but the whole point of this video is for me to get you guys to ask yourself the question, what is your therapy? All right, so what is your therapy is the first question, and then how is it affecting you long term? So let me explain. All right, so sports, I still play basketball to this day. I got a horrible knee injury. Well, it's not horrible, but it's a bad knee injury. Basically, it causes a lot of pain, causes a lot of unnecessary pain just in life and in the gym, but also especially whilst and after playing sports. All right, so long term, sports may not be the best thing for me. All right, so sports has been my therapy and it still is. All right, it's just do it a lot less. All right, I may do it once a week if I can, maybe twice a week. All right, so I use basketball as my therapy. Okay, so I go to the basketball court now. We do a little 2-hour session or whatever, and I know. So this is what I want you guys to do: be a bit more conscious. All right, so I know that when I go to play basketball, it's self-destructive in a sense that I have a knee injury. I had it for a long time. It's not going anywhere. It's only going to get worse, especially if I play basketball. I know that, all right, but I still do it anyway, all right? So I still go to the basketball court. I play for 2 hours. I love it. I feel great. I don't think about any stresses in my life or any dramas in my life that I may be having at the time. I don't even think about it for a second when I'm playing basketball or any sport for that matter. And that's why I do it, all right? So even the guys that I played with in the past and currently they're a bit older than me, but they always say that like, I just love playing basketball because I just love that when I come here, I ain't got to think about work or the missus, well, the missus or whatever and whatever issues they got going on, and they love it. And they're a bit older than me, and I'm an adult myself, and I feel exactly the same way. I just feel like when I go play basketball, that's my therapy, all right? So point being, the whole reason I said that is simply because this basketball long term for me is not good. Why? Because I've got a knee injury. The knee is bad. It's bad as it is now. Randomly I get sharp pain walking downstairs, and I'm 28 years old. That's ridiculous. So my knee's shot, it's dead. But I still make it even worse than it already is by playing sports, all right? And then some people think that's just stupid. Because you think about it, I'm 28 years old now, and this is the kind of issues I'm having. So what about when I'm double the age? What kind of issues will I be having then? Do you know what I mean? So, and playing sports, as the doctors told me multiple times, is the worst thing I could do with my current knee situation. But I do it anyway. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is that I've weighed up the options, all right? I weighed up the fact that I don't have to think about my life when I'm on the court, which makes me feel de-stressed, and it's a form of therapy. I release loads of endorphins, get to have a bit of fun, and it's exercise. It's an intense exercise which keeps me nice and relatively lean and healthy. It's cardiovascular as well. That's what basketball does for me. And the negatives, long term, are it can destroy my knee even more than it already is destroyed. And maybe I might not be able to walk. Maybe I need a knee replacement at that, a relatively young age of 50 or 60. Who knows? But I weighed up the options and decided that's what I want to do. So this is what I'm trying to get you guys to do, all right? Is to understand that you do have a form of therapy, right? You do have a form of therapy. Comment below if you agree or not. But there's a form of therapy, whether it's... Some people use dating as a form of therapy. Some people just date people because it makes them feel bad. They don't even want to take things nowhere. They just want to date for the sake of dating. Drinking and alcohol are the main ones. Do you know what I mean? Gambling. What's it called? Even video games, like stuff like... video games, who says that? Like stuff like games consoles, you know what I mean? Like people that sit at home and play games consoles all day. Even stuff like watching sports, even people that are obsessed over watching sports all the time and feel like they haven't got a life unless they watch sports. There's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm trying to tell you is that that's a form of therapy. So I want you to understand that you do have a form of therapy. And once you understand you have a form of therapy, the next thing is to figure out, is this going to work for you long term? So that's all I'm trying to do here with this video, is get you to ask yourself two questions, all right? Is, what is your form of therapy? Because you do have one, figure it out. And then, does it work for you long term? So like I used with the sport example for me, I've weighed up the pros and cons and realized long term, I want to do this because I feel like the pros are way better than the cons. But if you're smoking 3 times a day, 4 or 5 times a day, because it's de-stressing you, which is cool, and nothing wrong, I'm not judging you. But then the question is, we all know, I'm not going to get into the health implications of smoking a long term and smoking a lot long term, but we all know the health implications to some degree, all right? So you smoking short term is great, all right? Like I said, with all forms of therapy, short term it works. Like when I'm on the court, I feel great. When I get off that court and I have to sit that in wherever I'm sitting in my room, whatever, and then my knee is in pain, and the next day my knee's in pain, and for the whole week my knee's in pain, and I'm struggling, that's when it hits me. You know what I mean? Same with smoking, all right? So some of our clients even smoke, but when they have to come to our sessions and it's heavy on the cardiovascular system, they regret it. They're like, shit, I wish I didn't smoke because I'm trying to do this health and fitness thing, but then I'm smoking, it's holding me back. So I want you guys to think about it, all right? So ask yourself that question and think about long term, how is this going to work, all right? Weigh up the pros and cons. Smoking now, if you're having a stressful day at work, you go out for a smoke break and it calms you down, you feel better, you make better decisions, cool, that works for you at work, cool. But long term, what's smoking doing to you? Do you know what I mean? And why not use something that's free, a form of meditation? I mean, it's proven that it helps reduce stress and helps clear your mind and get you back to where you need to be mentally. So why not try something free or different, basically is what I'm trying to say. Instead of smoking, why not just meditate? Why not just do some meditational breathing for 10 minutes instead of sitting outside smoking? Let's go somewhere quiet and do that. Do you know what I mean? Why not do that? Like, use that as a solution, because long term, what's that going to do for you? Meditating over smoking. So just think about your forms of therapy, because at the end of the day, our business, JAG Health and Wellness, we're just about literally what we're trying to do is change culture and have people use stuff like our services, for example, massage, yoga, Pilates, fitness sessions, whether it's group or personal training, and eating healthy. We want them people to use that as a form of therapy, which is what I do, instead of using stuff like smoking or drinking, because Nothing wrong with smoking or drinking if you want to do it socially or whatever. But long term, if you're doing it so at a certain level and a certain amount, how is that affecting you? That's all the question. That's all I really want you guys to do, is ask yourself the question. If you don't agree with it, if you don't think I'm making any sense, then fair enough, you can comment below as well. But if you do think I'm making sense, I want you to ask yourself those questions. Figure out what your therapy is. Figure out if you want to change it, because I'm not telling you to change it. I'm saying if you want to change it, and then let me know how that gets on, how that goes for you guys. All right. So good luck with that, and I'll see you next week.